You've seen the brightest object in the night sky. It appears low on the horizon just before sunrise or shortly after sunset. It shines so brightly that it's impossible to miss. Ancient civilizations called it the morning star when it appeared before dawn, and the evening star when it appeared after sunset. For centuries, they believed they were looking at two different stars. They weren't. It was the same object all along. And it isn't a star, it's a planet. The planet closest to Earth, and the most hellish world in the solar system. Today, we're going there. Welcome aboard Mission Cosmos. Our destination is Venus, the second planet from the Sun and Earth's closest planetary neighbor. Depending on where our planets are in their orbits, Venus can come within just 25 million miles of Earth, closer than Mars ever gets. Let's go. As we approach, the first thing you notice is the brightness. Venus reflects about 70% of the sunlight that hits it, more than any other planet in the solar system. That's why it shines so brilliantly in our sky. A world wrapped in thick white clouds, reflecting sunlight like a giant mirror. And those clouds hide everything. We're entering the atmosphere now. Venus has a dense atmosphere, extremely dense. It's made up of about 96% carbon dioxide, with clouds of sulfuric acid. Yes, sulfuric acid. It actually rains acid on Venus. But the rain never reaches the ground. It evaporates long before it gets there because the temperatures below are simply too high. We're descending. The pressure is rising. At the surface, the atmospheric pressure on Venus is 92 times greater than Earth's. It's equivalent to the pressure you'd experience nearly 3,000 feet underwater in Earth's oceans. Enough pressure to crush an ordinary submarine. And the temperature? 865 degrees Fahrenheit. Hotter than Mercury, even though Mercury is much closer to the Sun. Why? The greenhouse effect. Venus's thick carbon dioxide atmosphere traps heat with devastating efficiency. Sunlight gets in, but the heat can't escape. Venus is a runaway greenhouse effect made real. An extreme example of what happens when a planet's climate spirals out of control. We're approaching the surface. Look at this. A barren landscape of orange-brown rock beneath a yellow-gray sky. Very little sunlight penetrates the clouds. It's like standing in a world of perpetual overcast, illuminated by an eerie reddish glow. Visibility extends for a few miles, but everything feels oppressive. Alien, infernal. The surface of Venus is covered with vast plains of hardened lava, mountains, and volcanoes. Maxwell Mons, the tallest mountain on Venus, rises nearly 7 miles high, taller than Mount Everest. And Mont Mons, a massive volcano, may still be active. Recent observations suggest that volcanic activity could be happening on Venus right now. This is a geologically alive planet. Biologically, almost certainly dead. No spacecraft has ever survived here for more than a few hours. During the 1970s and 1980s, the Soviet Union sent a series of probes called Venera to Venus. Venera 13 survived for just 127 minutes before the heat and pressure destroyed it. Those images remain the only photographs we have from the surface of Venus. 127 minutes. That's all human technology has ever endured in this hell. Let's climb a little higher, away from the crushing pressure, because something remarkable happens here. At an altitude of about 30 miles above the surface, the temperature and pressure become surprisingly Earth-like. A human wearing an oxygen mask and protection against sulfuric acid could, at least in theory, survive in this region. Some scientists have even proposed that if humanity ever colonizes Venus, we wouldn't live on the surface at all. We'd live in floating cities high in the atmosphere, above the densest acid clouds, where conditions are far more tolerable. And there's something else. In 2020, astronomers announced the possible detection of phosphine gas in the atmosphere of Venus. On Earth, phosphine is associated with microbial life. The announcement sparked intense debate. Could there be life in the clouds of Venus? Microscopic organisms floating high in the atmosphere, where temperatures and pressures are much less extreme? Today, most scientists remain skeptical. There may be chemical explanations that don't involve life at all, but the possibility has not been completely ruled out. Venus, the hell of the solar system, may still hide a habitable niche within its clouds. We're climbing higher now, looking back at the planet from space. Venus is almost the same size as Earth, 95% of Earth's diameter and about 80% of its mass. It's often called Earth's twin, but these twins followed very different paths. Billions of years ago, Venus may have had oceans, liquid water on its surface, moderate temperatures, perhaps even conditions suitable for life. Then, something went wrong. As the sun gradually grew brighter over time, Venus's oceans began to evaporate. Water vapor trapped more heat, which caused more evaporation, which trapped even more heat, a runaway cycle from which Venus never recovered. Earth escaped that fate because we're slightly farther from the sun. Only slightly. We're close to the inner edge of the sun's habitable zone. If Earth orbited where Venus does today, our world would be a hellscape too. And here's something even stranger. Venus rotates backward. While most planets spin in the same direction, Venus spins the opposite way. On Venus, the sun rises in the west and sets in the east, and its rotation is incredibly slow. One day on Venus lasts 243 Earth days, longer than a Venusian year, which lasts only 225 Earth days. A day longer than a year. A planet that spins backward, a world of acid and fire that may once have been habitable. Venus is a warning. It's a reminder of what can happen when a planet loses control of its climate. A real-world example, visible in our own solar system, of the greenhouse effect pushed to its absolute extreme. Every time you see the morning star shining on the horizon, you're looking at a planetary-scale climate catastrophe. We're heading back to Earth now. The next time you wake up before sunrise and spot that brilliant light on the horizon, remember, it isn't a star. It's a planet nearly the size of Earth, wrapped in sulfuric acid clouds, with surface temperatures of 865 degrees Fahrenheit and atmospheric pressure that would crush you instantly. It is the brightest and most beautiful object in the night sky, and the most hellish. The morning star isn't a star, it's a warning. We'll see you on the next journey.